Welcome to week 11 of Explore the Bible. We're continuing in the book of Deuteronomy today. Looking forward to this lesson as we go through Deuteronomy chapter 28. Before we look at that, you need to be sure and subscribe. You need to like, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Give us a comment or a question. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us how you're going to be teaching this lesson or something you've learned out of it or something like that. And then share the video with somebody else. You can support our work by going to give.exposedtochrist.com. Also, look at the first comment because I'm going to start putting a little summary along with some questions there. It's all artificial intelligence generated, but I think it's helpful stuff. So anyway, we'll try it for a while, see if we like it. Now, here comes. Now, if you faithfully obey the Lord your God and are careful to follow all his commands I'm giving you today, the Lord your God will put you far above all the nations of the earth. All these blessings will come and overtake you because you obey the Lord your God. Okay, this is a chapter of the blessing and the curses, and the first part of it is about the blessing. So if you faithfully obey, if you do what the Lord has called you to do, and you're faithful in it, you're doing the right thing, you're obeying the Lord, you follow his commands, which is what obeying the Lord means, right? He says, the Lord your God will put you far above all the nations of the earth. You will be successful above all the other nations. You will be blessed above all the other nations because you are doing what the Lord has said is right. Okay? These blessings come and overtake you. Isn't that an interesting phrase? They overtake you. That they sometimes beyond what you could ever even imagine, what you could ever think, God will do for you if you will be obedient. If you will do what he tells you to. Now I'm just going to tell you this. There is this, part of this is the act of God on your behalf, but part of this is doing the right thing merits good things in your life. If you do the right things, then good things happen to you. If you do wrong things, bad things happen to you. But also, if you do the things the Lord calls you to, not only will good things naturally occur by natural consequence, but also God will bless you greater than you could imagine. So just think about this simply as don't murder, don't steal, be honest, don't lie, right? Watch over and honor your family, your parents. Live your life in the way that God tells you to, inside the Ten Commandments. Just doing those things, better things happen than if you don't do those things. You don't do those things, bad things happen. I mean, we know this makes sense. But here he's not just talking about the natural consequences of doing the right thing. He's also talking about this faithfulness to God, which shows his faithfulness to you, where he blesses you beyond the natural consequences. And then here, the next little section, you will be blessed in the city. Blessed in the city and in the country, no matter where you are, right? You live inside the walls or outside the walls. Your offspring will be blessed. Your land's produce, the offspring of your livestock, including the young of your herds and the newborn of your flocks. Your basket and kneading bowl will be blessed. You will be blessed when you come in and blessed when you go out. Everything, right? Your children, what your land produces, your livestock, right? Even the basket and the kneading bowl, the Lord will bless you. The good things will happen in your life when you do the right thing. And here is his promise to the nation of Israel. You do what I've called you to, and I will bless you. This promise is still true today. You do what God calls you to, and God will bless you, which does not mean necessarily financial. That's how we almost always think of this. And it does not mean that your life will be wonderful and you'll have no problems. That has never meant that. And it does not mean that your kids will always do right. It does not mean that. But it does mean that God will watch over you. And that good things will happen in your life because of the blessing of God on your life. You will see God's blessing, which may not, and most likely won't result in financial benefit, but will result in the presence of God in your life and the blessing of God on your life in the midst of whatever else happens to you. But, okay, look, this is verse 15. So, up till now, 1 to 14 is all about the blessing of God. Verse 15 to verse 68, 54 verses of the curse. The but if. Okay? But if you do not obey the Lord your God by carefully following all his commands and statutes I'm giving you today. It's like the opposite of verse 1, right? All these curses will come and overtake you. These curses will come and overtake you. Overtake again. They will overwhelm your life. You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. It doesn't matter where you go, you cannot escape the curse of the Lord, that the Lord will not bless. He will not shower himself on you if you disobey him. Does not mean you won't be wealthy. Doesn't mean you won't be successful as the world sees it. But it does mean that the Lord will not bless your life. He will not bless you with his presence, which is what we want above all and everything. And what we need beyond all and everything is the presence of God blessing us in our life, not the stuff. We know that. Sometimes we forget it. He says, your basket and kneading bowl will be cursed, your offspring will be cursed, your land's produce, the eating of your herds, the newborn of your flocks will be cursed when you come in and cursed when you go out. It sounds familiar? It sounds just like the opposite of this, right? You want to do what's right? You want to follow the Lord and be obedient to him? The Lord's going to bless you. You want to do what's wrong? You want to be disobedient to him? Then you're going to be cursed. And the things that you do in your life, even to, right, your offspring, the generations, your land, right, everything is going to be cursed. It's not going to work. Now, okay, this sounds very simple and it sounds very basic almost, right? It's an entire chapter about this. But he says it back in the chapter before. He's talking about things that you should and shouldn't do. And then in this chapter, and then he talks about how, this is the way your life ought to be lived, and this entering into covenant relationship with the Lord and what that means. But I think it's important to not just look at the basic, look, this Bible study take like 10 minutes, all right? Here's how I think we need to think about this part of this. It's not just about the natural consequence, but it is about the presence of God and the blessing of God on our lives. And beyond that, it is not just about what happens to us, it's what happens to others, your offspring. How are they affected? When we live in disobedience to the Lord, our children are affected for generations. When we live in obedience to the Lord, our children are affected for generations. So we leave a legacy of this. Not only that, but even the animals, the entire surrounding of us, everything that we touch is affected by our obedience or our disobedience. We do not live on an island. We are not all by ourselves. That everything in our lives is affected by our willingness to be obedient or disobedient to the Lord. And so we must take seriously the effect and think about this not just personally and not just within your family, but within a culture. A culture that is obedient to the Lord by and large, right, is blessed. And a culture that is disobedient to the Lord by and large is cursed, because it's not just that individual, it's their family and it's their neighbors, it's their community, it's their school, it's their job, it's where they work. You know this, right? If you have somebody that's in a business, that works in a company, and they are living a life that is antithetical to the Lord, they are disobedient, they are not following the Lord, they're not an honest person, they're not trustworthy, they don't do their work. They don't do it well. They don't respect other people. They don't honor other people. They live their life selfishly. They affect everybody in the business, don't they? They are a curse within the culture of that business. And they drag everything down. And at the same time, if you put somebody in there, if you walk into a business and you live a life that is obedient to the Lord, you become a blessing, not just in your own life, but to all these other people around you. The business that you work in, the company that you work for, is blessed by your presence. The people in there may not always like it if they're living on the curse side, but others will appreciate it and they will see the difference that it makes. We see this over and over and over again, how an entire community and a culture, a community, however big or small, can be affected because of the way the people honor God or don't honor God, whether they decide to be obedient or not. It's not just us. It's not just me. It's not just my family. It is my community. We are responsible for that. So we need to live lives that impact others in a way that is positive. Hey, I hope that's helped. It's a great study. It's a great chapter. Look, it's kind of one of these things. It's in the middle of, we're getting near the end of things, and so maybe it's not real long, but I think there's a real good discussion to have here about how we live our lives and how that affects other people, and how maybe even how we've seen that have an effect on others and an impact, positive or negative, on other people. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Subscribe, like, comment, share with somebody else. We'll see you next week.